All right, Chris, 16-13 loss to the Chicago Bears. Normally, I would say this is a bad football team, but they're not a bad football team, the Carolina Panthers. They're a terrible football team. They are flat awful.
Dennis,
Yeah,
can't believe I'm about to say this.
say it.
This team would have been better off with Matt Rhule as the head coach.
We're going to get into that here. All right, let's get this sucker
Can't
started.
believe I
Let's
said
go. Let's go.
The state of North Carolina covers 53,000 square miles. It is the habitat of the feared Carolina Panthers. Get dialed in, Panthers fans, for an in-depth look at your team. Exclusive interviews, locker room insight. Let's huddle up for Panthers Playbook. Here are your hosts, Dennis Cox and Chris Lea.
Welcome back to another episode of Panthers Playbook. That's Chris Lea. I'm Dennis Cox. All right, before we get into the 16-13 game that the Chicago Bears just beat the Carolina Panthers here on Thursday Night Football, Chris just said something right from the get-go. This team will be better off with Matt Rhule. I mean, you might be right, man. You might be right.
Listen, man. Listen.
Just say it. Just say it. Just let it
Listen.
all out. Just let it all out. You know what? By the way, before you let this all out, the comment section for you Panthers fans down here below, here on 99.9 The Fans YouTube page, make sure you smash the subscribe button. Vent. Just let it all out. Vent. Just express your frustration. And also, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, leave us that nice 5-star review. All right, Chris, let it out.
Sorry, I had to change my name really quick.
Oh, you changed your name to Frustrated. I see that. For those who are watching, Chris changed his name to Frustrated.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I gotta take some time to get together my. All right, Matt Rhule. One thing that you can't say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is that I felt like on both sides of the ball, the team was better coached. Like there were definitely bad things about the Panthers under Matt Rhule for sure. The offense without Christian McCaffrey was not an offense. They couldn't really do much of anything at all. On defense, Phil Snow had those guys playing, bro. Phil Snow had those guys playing. Remember, just 3 years ago, excuse me, this was the number 2 defense in the NFL. And now it's the worst. I don't know. We got to see where it falls after this week. But from what I'm watching, it's the worst. If it's not the worst, it's the second or third worst. Like
It's bad.
It's all bad, and it's one of those things where like you've got a guy who's running their team, who's the best D2 quarterback a couple years ago, going against the guy who people saw as the best D1 quarterback 2 years ago. Justin Fields is hurt. Other people are hurt, and the Carolina Panthers can't even get that win.
Nope.
And the only reason why it was as close as it was is because Emir Smith-Marset became Emir Smith-Marset.
He finally had a play.
Off of a punt return.
Finally had one.
Other than that, the offense generated 6 points. It's bad. It's muddy. Guys don't look like they know what they're doing, where they're going. I mean, we have these offensive gurus, this offensive staff,
this all-star staff,
and the offense looked better under Matt Rhule, who had 1 year as an assistant in the NFL with the Giants, had no NFL experience. But this NFL staff with like 70 plus years combined experience in the NFL, either playing or coaching or both, this team looks horrible.
Terrible.
And I'm going to be real, right?
Keep it real.
I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I thought it was a possibility for the Panthers to not make the playoffs. Also thought there was maybe an outside chance that the NFC South would be so bad that maybe they accidentally stumble into the playoffs like they almost did last year.
Mm-hmm.
This literally might be the worst football team I've ever witnessed on a professional level.
It's bad, man.
It's bad, bro.
It's just, I'm sorry, it's not bad. It's terrible. It's awful. You talk about the offense. Okay, here's the thing about the offense. The rush defense for the Chicago Bears coming into the game, I think, was 4th in the NFL in yards per game allowed. Like, good rush defense. But I think they were like 27th, 28th, somewhere in that range in terms of pass yards per game. Passing numbers, if you take away the sacks, which I'll get to in a sec, Panthers only had 170 yards passing in this game. 170. You look at the total offense in this game for this team was just flat putrid. The Carolina Panthers had 213 yards of offense. That's it. That is 100% it. Also, the Chicago Bears team had 10 sacks in 8 games. 1.1 sack per game is what their defense averaged. Dead last in the NFL. And they got 3 on you tonight. Like,
I will
it was
say
like
this.
A get-right game. The Carolina Panthers are a get-right game for everybody.
I will say this. The Bears also in that time period didn't have Montez Sweat, so that's a new addition.
Yeah, I know.
And
still,
this is his second game with the Bears. So, I mean, he's a pretty good guy. And
he's very good.
Yes, you're right. If you need a bounce back game, you better hope the Carolina Panthers are on your schedule, buddy, because don't let the Dallas Cowboys have a bad Sunday. Because on the 19th, they're going to Bank of America Stadium, and that thing literally might end up being 50-3.
Yeah, the way this offense is going. You know what the most disrespectful part of this game was? You talk about the defense. Defense only gave up 16 points. Now, here's the thing. Chicago controlled the ball. Like, they controlled tempo of the game.
Yeah.
You know what the most disrespectful thing was? Chicago, with that aforementioned rookie quarterback who is an undrafted free agent out of Division II Shepherd, which, by the way, shout outs to the Rams. My sister, proud graduate of Shepherd University.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
I didn't know we had a family tie with this.
We actually do have a family tie to Shepherd on this podcast. Now, on 3rd and 7, with a minute 20 left or whatever it was, Carolina Panthers were down to 0 timeouts. 3rd and 7. You know what the most coaches, you know what they would do? They would try and run the ball, pick up a first down that way, but at least keep the clock moving. They said, you know what? We're going to let that rookie undrafted D2 free agent throw the ball. And doesn't go to your number 1 option in DJ Moore. Doesn't go to your number 2 option in the tight end, Cole Kmet. We're throwing to our 3rd, 4th option. We're throwing the ball with this guy, not because we want to, but because we freaking can. That's what the Chicago Bears did. That's how much disrespect they have for that defense right now. Like, we could throw the ball and win this game on 3rd and 7.
I'm going to be real. I mean, in the last 2 games, tonight and again, with the Colts, the stops that the defense I'll say that's different. Colts, the game was different. They actually played well with against the Colts. But other games, Texans, other games before that, the defense, I don't think really stopped people. It was like the other teams making mistakes.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that, but also the Panthers defense kind of sat back. They played conservative, like they call it shell defense. Like, we're going to keep everything in front. And then eventually, you know what? Because you get towards the red zone, everything just compresses itself. Therefore, you can't actually take any shots down the field. And so teams settle for field goals in that regard. They did get the 1 touchdown. Deontay Foreman, shout out to the former Carolina Panther. Imagine that, scoring a touchdown. So, yeah, so the defense never actually got a stop. This team makes hardly any splash plays, defensively. They get a they have what, 7?
There's no pass rush.
There's no pass rush. There's nothing.
Nobody is threatening. Tyson Bagent wasn't threatened at all.
No.
I'm sure he's seen better defensive lines.
0 sacks, by the way.
I'm sure he's seen better defensive lines he played against last year in Division II. Because literally nobody is he's got time back there. And then on the other side of the ball, Bryce Young has no time.
It's this team is just flat bad. It's the same repeated thing over and over again. And also, here's the thing. We talked about, the defense has dealt with some injuries, but Von Bell and Xavier Woods were back. You still had Frankie Louvu playing. You still had Shai Tuttle, still had Derek Brown. You still had some of these guys. I understand this defense was without Brian Burns this week. Totally understand that. But even when Brian Burns was in there, they still weren't getting much of a pass rush.
Here's one thing I noticed, though.
What's up?
And I love Frankie Louvu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But Brian Burns being on that field takes some attention away from Frankie Louvu. When Frankie
Mm-hmm.
Louvu is your main option to get to the quarterback, it's easy to lock him up.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. It's this game exposed that to me.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, man, like when Brian Burns is on the field, it's a little bit easier for Frankie Louvu. And Dennis, there's just so much that, like, the second most explosive, the second longest completion that Bryce Young has had in his career was a 44-yarder to Mike Strawn, who came up from the practice squad.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that a practice squad guy is able to get separation and get open down the field better than DJ Chark,
Mm-hmm.
better than Terrace Marshall,
Yep.
better than Amir Smith-Marset, which we thought that was going to be one of the reasons why he was brought in.
Yep.
Better than, like, it just.
That's the thing. You summed it up right there by not saying anything. You summed it up perfectly right there. Like, what are we doing? I actually tweeted out that Strawn, is that his name? Practice Squad? Practice Squad Mike is officially his name now. Practice Squad Mike was more of a deep threat in one quarter for Bryce Young than DJ Chark has been all season. Like, seriously, like the guy that you signed $5 million didn't even play today because he's hurt again. Go figure. DJ Chark battling an injury. Could have told you that before you signed him. But the guy you signed for $5 million, like, this guy's got more of a big play with Bryce Young than DJ Chark. Practice Squad Mike has more big plays with Bryce Young than DJ Chark. Like, and no one can, like, Terrace Marshall Jr. can't make a contested catch or a tough catch. Hayden Hurst struggling to make a tough contested catch either. Like, guess what? You know what teams have figured out with this offense right now? Just rush 4 guys. You're still going to get pressure. Drop guys into zone and make sure you bracket Adam Thielen. You shut down their offense. That's all they are.
You literally you summed it up perfectly because, like, literally you don't have to, like, bring the house.
No,
to the, like,
you don't.
You can bring the house like what Minnesota did, but you don't have to bring the house at all. And just have 7. All they're going to do is go 10 yards up the field and stop and turn around. And that is going to be slow. And your 4-man rush probably is going to get to Bryce Young before those receivers even turn their heads. 10 yards up the field.
Yep. Nothing.
Like, this is
nothing.
It's the most disappointing thing. And you know what? And I'm so worried that Bryce Young, who had so much promise, a man who, like, now he's lost more games in the NFL than what he did in all of high school and college put together.
Mm-hmm.
He was considered the best processor. He went number 1 overall for a reason. A Heisman Trophy winner.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to ruin this man. This franchise is literally going to ruin this man. Whether it's going to be his confidence, whether they're going to get him hurt because they literally can't protect him. Like, what is going on here? Nothing looks easy. Like, every team should have at least a few plays in the repertoire where it's like, you know what? If we dial this up 50% of the time, we know this can get at least 5 to 6 yards because we're scheming guys open. I don't know if the Panthers even have that. Now, they did have that nice play in the fourth quarter where Miles Sanders was split out wide. He kind of zigs in, goes out, and they get the I think that was a 4th down conversion.
Yeah, it's 4th down.
And that made me think, let's try Miles Sanders out to be a slot receiver.
Might as well at this point.
He might be faster than everybody else because he can't run the damn ball. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so Have them split out wide. Be a slot receiver. Let's go sign somebody off of somebody's practice squad, somebody that's not in the NFL. I mean, you know, just find somebody else to play running back. Cut another wide receiver, put Miles Sanders there. You're already going to have to pay him for the next 3 years, the next 2 years after this. Like, just
This franchise, this team, I'll say it every week, has the worst win percentage since 2019. This team has the worst win percentage since 2019. That's it. And you would think that this offense would have put together something by now, because guess what? Today, the only starters that you were missing were Brady Christensen and DJ Chark. That was it. That's it. And you've been without Christensen for a while. And then DJ Chark, okay, you plug in Terrace Marshall Jr. It's just flat. It stinks, man. It's awful. 213 yards of total offense, and 45 of them came on one freaking play. That's it. Like, it is just flat awful. This team. Hit me.
Charlotte FC's head coach got fired this week.
Mm-hmm.
David Tepper is in a firing mood.
Oh, David Tepper has fired 2 soccer coaches in 2 years of that franchise.
Is he going to fire 2 head coaches in 2 years? Because, like, I don't, like, listen.
That's a legit question.
I don't care
what legit question at this point.
I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody looked at this team, unless you're just like Nostradamus. Like, there are people who are like, no, I saw this coming. How could you go from a team with what they did last year, where they ended up, and look at this team and say, by the time they get to the Chicago Bears game, by the time they get halfway through the season, they're going to be 1-8. Like, legit. Like, who legit saw this coming?
I didn't.
Hey, maybe they would have had a losing record.
If you had told me 3-5, I'd been like, okay.
Maybe, yes,
Mm-hmm.
At least something. Like, but bro, this
is bad. This is flat bad. That's the thing. Here's something that you always have to think. When you can tell if a team is well coached, but they just don't have the talent. Like, they're in the right places, they're doing the right stuff, but they just don't have the talent. All right? This team doesn't have the talent, nor are they well coached. It's just,
you know what? Here's the thing about that.
Blow this thing up.
Here's the thing about that. I'm wondering, because some of these guys were here with Phil Snow on defense,
mm-hmm.
and then basically the entire line is back. Brady Christensen is hurt, of course, but the entire line is from last year's team is on this roster. And boy, they looked pretty good last year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they looked okay.
Are you compared to what it is now?
Oh, compared to what it's like night and day compared to what
they
it is
looked
now.
Pretty good last year. So are you sure that there's like no talent? Because part of me thinks that it's also coaches on both sides of the ball that's trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Like, this 3-4 defense is trash.
Awful.
Why do you have Troy Hill as your edge rusher on a 4th down call and let Cole Kmet just go out there just wide open? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, you can't stop the run at all. You're not getting any push on that defensive line. Like, it's trash, man. And then, bro,
it's that bad. It is that bad. And you know what? There is no fast fix for this franchise. That's the sad thing. And I think that's something that
it might get worse.
This is that's the thing. Like, David Tepper, he's probably going to hear this. That's fine. David Tepper tried to microwave a winning team, tried to take a team last year that tried to almost backdoored its way into the playoffs at 7-10 because the division sucks, and thought, oh, we can make this thing an instant winner. We can make this thing an instant winner. But no, you actually made the team worse. You made the team worse, David Tepper, because since you have been here with this franchise, you have the worst win percentage since 2019, since you arrived. So yeah, tonight, that 16-13 win is a byproduct of all of your work. Can't look at this game in just a vacuum. This is a byproduct of your years of terrible management. How you've managed this roster, how you've managed your coaching staffs, how you've done everything with your front office, all of it falls on you since you arrived. I got nothing else, Chris. I really got.
I don't either. And I will say that I feel sorry for Bryce Young.
I feel sorry for Panthers fans.
I
really do.
Here's the only bright spot though. Bryce Young continues his streak. 8 straight games of 20+ completions. Only other person that's done that is Justin Herbert. He went up to 15. But that was literally in Amir Smith-Marset. Those were the only 2 bright spots for tonight. And I don't know, man. It's just things are probably going to get worse, honestly. And because there's no way Scott Fitterer survives this season.
No.
And along with that, if you're going to get a new GM, probably going to get a GM that wants to have his own head coach as well.
Yep.
And like I would have lived with Frank Reich having this team finish the season, let's say at 5-12, 4-13, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the team looked like they were at least in games,
showing
if
progress.
the team at least looked like they were showing progress, right? The thing that was a redemptive factor for Matt Rhule after his first season was that even though they were like they were 5-11 that year, right? I think it was like 8 of those 11 losses were all like within a 1 score.
Yeah, they're all like a bunch of them within 1 score.
It was a 1 possession game for 8 of those 11 losses. And so you could look at that and you said, you know what? You know, I'm not sure if I'm down with Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not sure if I'm down with some of the things I'm seeing, but at least the Panthers aren't getting dog walked.
Mm-hmm.
They're in these games, and they weren't dog walked tonight. So we're not going to make it seem like that because the Chicago Bears are a very bad team. You can see that they are a very bad team. But boy, they're going to get dog walked by the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, who cares at this point? Who cares at this point? But you know, I will say the one bright spot. There's one shining spot here for Carolina Panthers fans. Your Sunday's free. Go enjoy. You can watch winning teams play football if you want.
Me and you're gonna go see some wrestling.
You and I are gonna go watch some wrestling.
We're gonna watch some wrestling.
Go watch some wrestling.
Stress free,
fans. Because guess what? At least you know you're gonna see someone win.
Yeah. We're going to see 7 wins.
Exactly. At least
there's 7 matches on that card on Sunday.
Carolina Panthers are the jobbers of the NFL right now. It's 100% what they are. They just take losses.
They're the Brooklyn Brawlers. Carolina Brooklyn Brawlers.
Look them up, kids. All right. No podcast Sunday. We'll have another one for you on Thursday next week. I know, right? We'll have another one for you on Thursday next week. Thanks for sitting with us and listen to Chris and I just vent here a little bit. Actually, not a little bit, a whole lot. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Really quick. I meant to say this earlier. Panthers Nation at Panther Nation PC tweeted this, and this is something for me and you to look out for, Dennis.
Okay.
It's time. #March on Mint. Details will be released tomorrow. I need everyone to spread the word. We deserve better. So there's some people in the comments saying like, I will fly in from my other state because I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. There's some people saying I'll bring tiki torches.
Wow.
Like, so if this really were to happen, there's really a march on Mint Street. That is something big for us to cover. So Just wanted to put that out there.
Okay. Well, we'll give us a follow. He's at Chris Lea TV. I'm at the Fan Rookie. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Enjoy your weekend.